The battle is over. I have won. Yaira is dead. But so are the 3 visitors. They were fools to follow me here. They did not know this world, and I was able to use it to my advantage. I managed to live amongst these humans for eons without my true nature being exposed. Stefania changed all that. She's my flesh and my blood. She is like me. I could not save her, Abuela, and now she hates me. I'm alone in this world. Anyone who gets close to me dies. No, Yaira must stay dead. I have searched for him for years in this place. His existence has become something of myth and legend, leading me to believe he perished long ago, or abandoned this cruel world for another where life is not so fleeting. When I had given up all hope, when I was ready to die and join my loved ones in Valhalla, when I stopped looking for him, he found me. Neptune lives, and I will find him. I have to. If only I could break free of these endless nightmares that have plagued me since my last battle. Every night, I die, and I watch my family die. Over and over again. My greatest fear is that somehow, some way, with all his dark magics, he survived. My old friend, the one who betrayed, the Black Sorcerer, Magus Newmite.
Hi everyone, welcome to Rip and the Silverback, episode 55.
Man, climbing, absolutely climbing. I love it. Love everything about it, man.
Time flies when you're having fun and all that.
What they say.
Silverback, he's the Rip. How you doing, Eric?
Man, I'm doing good. Been doing good, man. Hustling as usual. Appreciate you on that Yaira trailer there. We obviously completed Bloodroot not too long ago, so now Yaira is the big focus. So man, we just been grinding, chipping away, man, getting these projects underway, and it's been a fun time, man. Fun time.
So Bloodroot ended. How do you do? How do you do? How many books?
So over 13,300, which is unheard of for a horror book, especially one of that size. As far as books sold, and over $735,000 in total sales. So,
you might as well just pack it all up, mate. You know?
I know, right? Between two collections, I mean, back to back, that's basically $1 million. Yeah, it's all we're going under. It's over.
It's pretty much back to back, really. It's kind of jumped from Gooding to Horseman.
Horseman to all that's back to back. You consider all of those
Bloodroot through to so back to back.
Several millions of dollars, $7 million within a year. It's all over. Pack it up. Done.
It's done. Don't even know why we're doing the show.
Exactly.
Let's just play some end credits or something. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yaira 2 is up for pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean for the next one then? If you're looking to do a book a month,
give or take. I mean, we'll get in there. I don't know if we're gonna be there, but give or take, yeah. So yeah, you got Yaira, which has been kicked off for a week or so now. And we have some other stuff. Obviously, I don't think we're done even for January, to be honest, man, because we're preparing for the next stuff. Okay. You guys saw the Rip reveal, so you know there's other things on the horizon. And then before you know it, because again, we did opt for still a solid size, but a bigger book, a smaller book in comparison to the usual. Yaira 3 is going to be out before you know it. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff on the way, man. So January, I don't think we're done here. February, you can expect some more collections. But at least, yeah, launching, you can probably anticipate at least a give or take a month. There's going to be something new. And that's often books, right? Not always. We got some other stuff planned, but books pretty much every month and some change. Expect something to come out. As you guys see with Yaira 2, we slimmed down the date as far as how long these are running. So what that was like a 40, I think it's only 40 days. It's running a really short collection because we're moving on to the next one. So it's going to be even more important for you guys to get the books while you can. Because as you see, you can't even get cover C anymore for Bloodroot. When it's gone, that's what happens. So you're gonna see that a lot because we're moving on to the next thing. I never wanted to, and I know we spoke about this as before, as far as our aspirations here at the Rippaverse. We're not like simply like just campaign makers, right? Like we're a publishing company, right? We want to have our stories and our universe, which is our big selling point, be the primary focus. And in order to do that, it is about just, making sure we're publishing. Like, and by that, I mean going through the full cycle, not just, hey, here's a book up for sale, but obviously getting it in your hands as well. And that's a big focus in 2025. It is going to be, I don't think it'll be whiplash. I think it's just, it's a different release format in comparison to last year, for sure. And especially the first year that we were a thing. Different release format in that we're moving. Like we want you guys to always have something new to talk about. So we're moving quick. We got several creative teams. Actually had some interesting meetings over the past week about like some guys that we've signed on to do some books that'll be dropping in the future. And as well as some cover art and posters and pinups and such. Man, it's such a fun time. It's been a great opportunity here, but yeah, we're not in the business of just simply making campaigns or collections or whatever. We're in the business of publishing books. So that's why slimming those dates down, those pre-order windows down, get them out there so you guys can actually read the book and nerd out about it. So,
and statues Q1
yes, still on schedule. Those have not, and in fact, I think I've already discussed this. One that we know, and I need to follow up on this today, but one that we know is ahead of schedule is the ISOM. Yeah, ISOM's ahead of schedule right now. So that will the Young ISOM by Iron Studios, that is. So everything's still on schedule. Still got the Q1 schedule for, of course, McFarlane Toys. I think February is going to be a big month for us. You're going to see. I anticipate some statues starting to arrive by then, and we're getting those out to you. And we have a lot of other stuff that's going to be on the horizon as well, because as I said, it's not the last little thing that we're doing with those guys. We love Iron. We love McFarlane Toys. That was just the tip of the iceberg, if you will. But yes, still on schedule for those, and I cannot wait for people to unbox those.
Okay. So you got a thing or two going on. It's all right.
Yeah. Just a little something. A big shout out to Gothics. As you guys know, she joined our team as of recently, helping us out on the video side and being a spokesperson for the Rippaverse and communicating with the audience there for updates and all sorts of stuff. You saw one of our first videos updating you guys with the Bloodroot numbers. Somehow her first video gets way more likes than when I do a fucking video. So it looks like I made the right decision.
Prettier than you are.
Yeah, I know. She's probably a lot. People already put in the comments, a lot better to look at than that other guy. So I respect it. That's why she was, brought on, because she is wonderful in front of the camera. She knows what she's doing, and it's what she does best. So that she can get to do some actual nerd culture stuff with us, and really, just again. Be a spokesperson for the Rippaverse, and so I don't have to record all the damn time videos. So she's wonderful, man. She's wonderful. Someone said in the chat, Gothic is prettier than you. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Fucking coat wrong with on him. The coat. I'm okay with that. So you're also acquiring YouTubers now as well.
I guess, yeah. Apparently.
Yeah,
it's funny. Funny, it was hilarious. As you laughed, I don't know if you saw this. Under the video, right under the Riververse video, someone that the first one that she did, right, where she was giving an update about Bloodroot, someone asked, which I thought was a hilarious question. I mean, they were trying to be snarky, but it was hilarious to me. I'm not quite on the video that she had just did, that they weren't quite sure what was the point of us bringing her on, as if that wasn't the point of us bringing her on, like the video that they were watching. So, but I'm the first, you got to understand, I'm the first one to ever have a spokesperson or video content producer for my company.
Get a presenter for your stuff.
Yeah, I'm the first person that's ever done that. Just like I was the first person to have memberships, first person to invented sales. As you guys know, I invented those as well, discounts and things of that nature. So yeah, man, I'm just adding it to my resume time and time again because I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the inventor.
Just to swing away, I have some really bad news.
Oh,
apparently in America there are now only 2 genders.
Sad day.
And the State Department are only allowed to fly 1 flag now.
Oh no!
And that must be the American flag.
The trans flags are gone.
So unfortunately, the Rainbow Yats Nazi, just call it what they are, the fucking Nazi Party, the National Socialist Party.
I mean, they are socialists. They are. Is it inaccurate? They are National Socialist
Party of America. have unfortunately had their flag removed from the State Department. I know there's probably going to be a lot of upset people in the chat. I know. I no longer feel seen. I was playing with some pronouns the other day and thinking of coming over, obviously, to America. But it looks like it's all over.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's. I just when I put that passport in, and it's like, you know, squiggly bop. It's, you can't let you in. Are you a man or a woman? Why would you dare do that to me? Isn't it? I know. Isn't it just a bit fucking crazy that we're literally praising 15 years ago was just normalcy? Everyday life because it was normal.
Yeah,
and now we're praising. Yeah, we're praising a return to sanity and normality. It just seems. It feels like I'm on a. It does. It feels like we have definitely fucking fallen through some sort of parallel black hole to a parallel universe or something. Because holy shit, can we just get this shit out of everything now, please?
Yeah. So in some other initiatives of you guys have been reading on it, a lot of the sort of let's actually backtrack a little bit. Some of the people, a lot of them were fired, that were either, heads or leading the charge for DEI in various governmental departments, I guess. And we know that there's complete elimination of some of those approaches as far as funding and subsidizing those efforts that's coming from the Trump admin very early on. So I do think, as I always say, that politics, they're the lagging indicator, right? So I do think in America, what you're seeing is that is signifying that there has been a shift there on that specific issue, which, to your point, as it was ridiculous for as long as we've been doing it, and now it's more just a return to normalcy. It shouldn't, when he gets up there, for example, during his various inauguration speeches and such, and he's like, yeah, we're going to be getting rid of these DEI sort of initiatives and hiring based on we really want to be hiring people or bringing people on.
So he wants to abolish racism. He wants to try and get rid of as much racism as possible.
Yeah, and he words it like, yeah, we want to basically make everything merit-based. And that's just normal, right? Essentially like what it used to be. But you're reminded of just how ridiculous things were over the past, several years. And you had this big, massive push, and some of those are sobbing, but this massive, massive push for policies that had some sort of preferential treatment for people based on race, which is literal racism, and it was sometimes based on sexuality and all of those things and all of that nature, where you were basically busing people into various positions, qualified or unqualified, because of their race or sexuality.
Unqualified.
Oftentimes it was unqualified. Oftentimes it was most times, like the vast majority of the time, they were unqualified. But they checked the box because that seemed to matter more than the ability to perform something or do something. And it just really went to show just how much of a joke that it's not just an American thing, but we're just talking about it in this context. How much of an absolute joke America's governments are, that they were even going forth with this shit, right? Where it was embedded into their policies, or the self policies, as in their own kind of rules and regulations for themselves, to have these policies and push for them in departments that had absolutely nothing to do. In fact, especially when you're talking about international relations and all that stuff, you're looking at some of these departments where the last types of people you would want to be bringing in are people that could have their ability to kind of work around this question, because they're not qualified for it, right? It's actually dangerous in the event that they aren't qualified for it. But it has seeped in. It was their God. It was their religion. It still is in some cases. I just think they lost on this issue for now. At least, and I think that the government enacting some of this stuff, or rather getting rid of some of the rules that were there before and getting rid of some of the funding, is just really identifying that. So if you were a black pillar before, after seeing all this, there's no way you can be black pilled. You can't be black pilled at that. You have to be looking at this through a positive lens.
So did Elon Musk do a Yahtzee salute? And if not, why not? No, joking.
I do not want that.
Joking.
Yeah. So we talked.
That's what the other people do.
We talked about that. First of all, when you have even the Anti-Defamation League, who probably isn't a big fan of Elon and his types, even coming out,
the ADL are a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah.
And even they defended fucking Elon.
Yeah. Even they are like, all right, guys.
Yeah,
you're reaching.
It's calm down. Yeah, calm the fuck down.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So when even the ADL is like that. But look, the AOCs of the world, if it wasn't that, it would have been something else that they would have griped and moaned about. So it is crazy. Definitely when you look at it in full context. First of all, if that's his Nazi salute, he's a terrible job. He's off to the side and everything. He's not forward, but what he's like
you said, it's reaching, we're talking fucking Reed Richards level of reach,
exactly.
with this one.
Plastic Man levels of reaching.
Sorry, I've only got one finger out.
Exactly.
Nah, there it is.
Exactly. But that's how it is, right? It's like it's ridiculous. It legitimately is ridiculous. Even when you look at context, when he literally said, "My heart goes out to you," like he literally says that, and that's the gesture that he's performing. And it was just nuts, because wasn't it just it wasn't even a week ago, when you had people on the quote unquote right bitching at Elon, right? Because they were claiming that he was like taking down people's account for the whole anti-Semitic shit, right? So it's like, which one is it? Is he like so pro-Jewish that you think that it's a negative thing, or is he a freaking Nazi? Make up your minds. Make up your minds. You cannot. You can't have both. They are diametrically opposed. You cannot do it. The antithesis.
And yet
here we are.
Here we are.
And yet here we are. But man, they're coping with this whole kind of cultural change right now. So if it wasn't that, it would have been something else. Did you see the bishopess, with the bob cut?
The Ellen DeGeneres in, you know.
I like that.
Apparently, number one, what the fuck is a woman doing in that role?
That's what we're all trying to ask.
So number one, why the fuck you up there? Get the fuck off. Number two, I'm pretty sure most of the chat, they're aware of this stuff yourself. Can go into the worship of false idols, and that fucking bint was that is a antithetical to her religious beliefs, and
lecturing right in front of the president, VPs there, talking about LGBT kids, LGBT like trans. What? And a lot of people were crediting him with like, okay, they just sat there and they didn't want to be disrespectful, and they just sat there and took it. I would have been like, we probably should get up out of here, because I don't know if God's going to respond to this blasphemous situation, right? And flood this church, because what was that? And
I'll show you. I'll show you what this. I'll show you what it was. I'll show you exactly what it was. It was this.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic.
There's no such thing as transgender children.
They don't exist. Not a thing.
I think JD Vance just did everything. There is such a thing as disgusting adults. There is such a thing as grooming. There is such a thing as abuse, child abuse. But what there isn't is such a thing called transgender children. Sorry, can't go with you on that one.
Yeah, not a thing. And but seriously, like looking at that and hearing her just ramble on about, and then did you hear what she was talking about? Basically saying that basically all immigrants are dishwashers and all kinds of. She was going on about their dishwash. I guess kind and understanding to these migrants because they're dishwashers and help with crops. Like what are you going on about?
If there is a huge unemployment issue with your country, then you have plenty of people that can go and do.
That's fair.
Some washing of some dishes or some cleaning of some.
Yeah, she was talking about housekeeping, because that's apparently that's all that migrants do.
What did she do? Did she do pool cleaning as well?
Yes.
Did she do nannying? Did she get all the fucking racial stereotypes out there?
She basically did list them all.
Did she say taco shops? Why don't you just do that?
She basically listed every last one of the stereotypes. But no, it was crazy, man, to see that. And look, I know we don't want to get like, if we're here, we're trying to have some fun, getting too religious. But man, it is certain things are just absolute blasphemous. And having some, believe it or not, as apparently, and we found this out when we were talking about this live on Blaze, when we looked it up, producers did. She's apparently married to a man. Now, what kind of man? I know, as
no, she ain't. No, she ain't. I can't guess what she is, dude. The thing that she's married to drives a fucking Subaru. And they've already booked the U-Haul for the divorce. That's who that person's married to, right?
Apparently,
they got twin Subarus for their birthday, and they've already planned their divorce. It's already in the books.
But yeah, man, for sure. I mean, I get it. Why they was kind of just standing there and or sitting there and taking it, but I would have been scared that, the Lord was gonna respond right then and there. And I'm like, get out of the blast radius, because what she did, I mean, again, with her being especially like being a woman and preaching as such at these people about LGBT kids in the church.
Never interrupt your enemy when they make a mistake.
I'm not a satanic panic guy, but I don't know, ass. That looks like something that Satan sounds like something Satan would do.
It's not satanic panic when it's the church that is saying it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the other way round. It's not a force of whatnot. No, this is I mean, I have no idea what they were doing there in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. because it's all that stuff compounds, right? And we all know that, this is what Satan does. He's in disguise. Let's say that, right? He's not going to come he's not always going to come in a
I
form.
think her husband's in disguise.
Well,
if you know what I mean.
But yeah, just hearing
hey,
someone.
Shout out to Razorhead. They're a lesbian.
So yeah, I'm just going by what was researched. That's what our producers over at Blaze did live research, because I guessed that she was lesbian. And I'm probably still right, but you get what I'm saying. Like we went and looked it up, and apparently she's married to a man.
No,
I mean,
no. But it does show once again the infiltration of this disgusting ideology. It's infiltrated government, infiltrated church, entertainment, education. It's everywhere. So again, never interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake. They've given themselves away. Good luck with that one. So
it's crazy, absolute. But I do love, out of all of this, it doesn't matter where you are on Trump or whatever, just on the subject of like DEI, things that we discuss a lot on our channels, and how
it's got nothing to do with Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I do love that the issue in itself, it does seem like you're seeing like ground that obviously has been made, in which normies are seeing how ridiculous this concept ever was. And to be fair, it's been around, especially out here, for a while. I did a video kind of discussing this sort of history which all the DEI garbage is just an extension of the precedent basically in America that was set with like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, where and affirmative action, right? That's all that stuff is an extension of. It's just that in this case, it wasn't simply just a government, right, that had these sort of policies. It was businesses, it was companies, it was and in some case, some of them were subsidized by the government for some of their policies, right, in the form of grants and even in the loans. But yeah, man, it just got ridiculous, and maybe the left made a mistake in being so aggressive in such a short period of time.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly what I was actually. Believe it or not, I was actually thinking about this today.
Yeah,
I was thinking about how we got from a position of look, dude, you do you. Whatever you get up to in the privacy of your own homes, your own business. Nobody, in the nicest way, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Just be a decent person here. Everyone's cool with that. To the absolute lunacy of I'm a fucking foxkin bimber. I want to cut my 3-year-old's fucking genitalia off.
Insanity.
Because they looked at my dress, ergo they are this. I gotta say, surely there has to be some sort of correlation with social media, the desire for attention. The main currency on social media is attention.
I think that's a massive part of it,
and the perception of wanting to be the good guy,
right,
or at least the accepted person. So you start getting into almost a battle of one-upmanship to virtue signal. It's no longer good enough to just say this or that. Now you have to go to extreme levels. It's amplified on social media. It's amplified by algorithms which push you into your own groups. I am just, I'm just as much that we get pushed into our own groups.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's not just one thing. I got you on that for sure.
And so, when you have so much access to things like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc., and you're all in competition with who's the fucking greatest person on the planet mentality,
right?
And you get this sort of stuff. You then enter ideology into it, and it becomes a powder keg. that goes off. Doesn't help when you have fucking retarded people like AOC in government. You know, literally. I mean, I honestly God wouldn't even fucking trust her to make a coffee. She's been a barista. Let alone the stupidity of, you know, the absolute dumb fuckery that comes out of that stupid cow's mouth. You know, so when you don't have people in positions of power and authority guiding and laying down the law, and in actual fact they are encouraging it, then here we go. You know, this is where we get to, and it has just escalated from 0 to bloody 5,000, and it's too much, and it's not acceptable, and it wasn't like they were pushing the boundaries. They went straight over the boundary and tried to see how far they could even get.
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think the kids thing for sure peeled a lot of people on this issue. And just because that it was just so ridiculous. I mean, could you imagine even I don't know, 10 years ago, someone just openly, including people within the medical industry, just rattling off the term like trans kids? They would have never done that. They would have never done that in public, at least not here. And now it got to the point to where that's exactly what they were doing, and they were advocating for it. You know, having the nerve to claim that everybody that was against transing kids and, I don't know, cutting off their genitals and doing irreversible damage to them while they're still going through puberty, which is insane. I mean, I think, and I don't, you know, I don't want to go too crazy with it because we're on your channel today, but I do believe that any doctor performing those types of procedures on these youngsters belong under the prison. And maybe that's getting it off easy.
Yeah, they should be subject to prosecution.
For sure.
100%. It's mutilation.
Yes.
It's mutilation on the most vulnerable of society who cannot give consent.
Yes.
And that is why we have laws about consent to drink, consent to smoke, consent to have sex, consent to tattoo ourselves. Yeah, this is why we have these laws, because you must be of a mature and developed mentally and physically age to make these decisions, and children cannot do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, I 100% agree. I think if they do conduct these operations, it should be something that is looked into, and they should be subject to criminal prosecution. But just in case you didn't know how retarded AOC could be, there we go.
Unbelievable.
This is somebody who should not be in government. They shouldn't be allowed. They're not even of a fucking mature nature to be in government. They are purposely trying to cause issues and problems when they know there's an absolute no burger here. And that's probably one of the sanest of takes she's had. That's how fucking stupid she is. So yeah, Elon Musk.
She's mad again. This is a person on their side generally 99% of the time on things, and the ADL, as corrupt as they are, and even they were like, look, you guys are reaching, and she's mad at them for just,
you can't be right some of the time. You have to be right all of the time for them. Yeah. Otherwise they just jump on their own and they'll eat their own, and it's a well-known business. And look, I don't know if you want to get into or have anything to say about this. We just had the nonsense of Goonagate, where you know, on one side you've got, we need Nigerian, Papua New Guinean refugees in middle-aged England, otherwise you're a racist. And then on the other fucking side, we've got a character that was gay in the first game. Who's the villain? Just FYI, it's based. Is going to be in the second game. So now it's woke as fuck. And all women in video games should now be Victorian and not show any ankle. And all this, it's just like, can we just get some fucking sensibility? You know, some sensible takes here, please.
Yeah, people. I mean, look, it is a. I get it. A lot of people are on edge with what's going on in media, and understandably so. But yeah, things have gotten a little irrational. I think the vast majority of it, I'm pretty sure everybody agrees with me, comes from the left, though not exclusively.
Well, there's been plenty from the other
the
side.
quote, I mean, we've dealt with that with Rippaverse stuff, you know what I mean? So most definitely it's not an exclusively left or right thing, though generally speaking, when we talk about like these just terrible takes and infestation of various properties, it's usually the left that we're talking about, because they have the control. And to their credit, and by credit, I'm not like saying this is a positive thing. I'm saying, look, that's what they work to do, infiltrate. And they were successful. They worked to infiltrate all. I mean, you just rattled off all of these things as the church and all these various institutions. That's what they did, and they were successful at it. And that's why for a while, and still to this day, just because Trump maybe or his administration is making some adjustments to how stuff is happening within various governmental departments. Yeah, they still have control of some of these. Not some of them, all of them, for the most part, mainstream, like video games and movies, which we'll be talking about, and stuff like that. So, and this is what I think, and I made this, if you disagree with me, that's fine, but I made this assumption, less of an assumption and more of, I think this is what's going to happen. Now that he's won, now I said before, like if he wins, it could have a way of sending these dipsticks and having a even worse reaction if you love these properties, because they're going to feel like they need to do something, right? Which is kind of what happened in 2016, was it not? Where they were like, we need to use the platform of the video game that we're making or something to signal to our party members, if you will, that we're not going to stand for that. And so they used this stuff as a vehicle, and they were beating everybody over the head with those particular positions. I think that we haven't seen anything yet. Not a black pill. I always say that when I mention this, because I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for independents to thrive because of this. Does this mean that you may have to just come to terms with the fact that, well, maybe some of these properties are in control of a bunch of dipsticks, and it's going to have to hit ground zero and then have a transfer of like ownership to someone else before it ever returns? If that's even possible.
And people are speaking with their wallets, and they're speaking pretty openly with their wallets now. So much so that the behemoth, the employer of 18,000 people, Ubisoft, are on the verge of collapse as a company.
Yeah.
And if Assassin's Creed Black Guy in Japan fails, which it could potentially do, particularly if the gameplay is mid as fuck,
right?
Then that company is most likely going to be looking for a buyout from somewhere.
Tencent, I think they get it.
Tencent might get it. They have an investment already. Tencent and Seas have plenty of investment all over the Western gaming industry. And to me, it's just like, that's fine. That's absolutely
for me,
fine.
It's okay. For others, there are some people, as believe it or not, that are, man, they're really clinging on. They even get mad at me when I talk about this stuff, and they're like, we shouldn't. They'll say like something like, we shouldn't concede our properties, and I'm like, it's not ours anymore. Like it's, and that's just a harsh reality. Like,
well, I mean, if you, the thing is though, you don't have to concede the property.
Yeah,
you simply have to not support the property. They will have to concede the property.
Well, eventually, yeah. That's why I said it have to hit ground zero, right? Because because to me, that's the best case scenario. They run it into the ground. It becomes cheap as I don't know what, to where a super fan maybe can get control of it and restore order. And I think that the bigger they are, the more unrealistic that may be. But I think that's your best case scenario. Like it doesn't get much better than that. I do think that people are going to have to get over the fact that, look, there are some very corrupt, not very well intended people that are now in control of these properties and the people, the creatives, using that term loosely, that are making their games, writing their books, drawing their comics, writing their comics, etc., are ideologically obsessed weirdos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a reality. And so I don't think, I look at it less like, well, you're conceding a property, and more like, look, shouldn't this have already happened? Because think about it, in the last, let's say at the start of 2000, I brought this point up. This would be a great little segue into this, because I brought up, for whatever reason, Western entertainment hit like this wall in the 2000s, right? Like it was a wall where, and by that, I mean that the next culturally relevant properties, and that doesn't mean necessarily, because I still think things can be niche and be culturally relevant, right? Yes. So I'm not saying that they need to be blockbuster, but most of what what these people are holding on to and clinging to are properties that are older than your mother's, in some cases your grandmother's, right? Or at least they're controlled by, right, and or subsidized by companies that are that old. There's been a while since you had like a cultural phenomena that, and yes, I get it. If it came out today, it's going to look a little different, right? Because the means are so decentralized. So what does that look like, right? Is it just like a rip-reverse thing where, you know, it has this success and it has like maybe some niche following? Again, that's why I say it doesn't need to be like $1 billion film for it to be culturally relevant. But it hit a wall, and now everything that's new in terms of a property, for the most part, there are some exceptions that people are fond of, come from the East.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost all of it. And I was sitting there thinking about this the other day. I was like, damn, can I think of one thing that was maybe, yeah, you got like there's some stuff here and there. And in the comic space, maybe if you wanted to include like a Invincible or like a Walking Dead or something like that. But the vast majority of them are like, they're all well older than that. But you had that sort of innovation and you had that sort of creativity happening a lot in a decade before. There's so many things that come. We all look at the 90s like it was the decade. Like that was like Western culture peaked then. But think about
The
why.
Walking Dead and Invincible aren't original IP.
That's exactly.
You know, they're taken from the comic source and converted to TV. Whereas something akin to Squid Game or something along those lines, that was completely original, or, you know, adaptations of anime, or, you know, Korea's producing some really
Korea's doing some. That's what I'm saying. It's all coming out the East. Japan,
Hellbound, from that's Korean as well. Alice in Borderland, Japanese, of course, but lots of good stuff coming from the East. And what does the East have that the West doesn't? It doesn't have identity politics.
Yeah,
it doesn't have gender politics. Quite the opposite. They have much more classically defined gender roles. That doesn't mean that we're dealing with backward civilizations at all. In actual fact, quite the opposite. Probably more advanced than the West right now in terms of their society, because their societies are still functioning, you know, more or less fine. Look at Japan. Japan's a country that still, you know, kind of works off an honor system, off a respect system. Is clean, is tidy, doesn't have the levels of crime that the West does, all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the West, and so it's reflective in their art and their culture and their creativity. And in the West, it's not as if there's different ideologies that are vying for attention. It's literally organizations that, you know, an ideology is completely consumed. The left, the far left, the extreme left has completely consumed entertainment, every facet of entertainment,
every corner,
and therefore everything that's coming out of it.
The other side doesn't even have. They don't got NASCAR anymore. You don't even got country music. You got nothing. They have taken every damn thing, man. It's crazy how they've been able to basically every corner of anything entertainment. It's basically they are the approved. I mean, some people throw like a UFC like in there, which I will say, yeah, maybe other ideologies are a little more accepted there, right? In that formula, and definitely in like combat sports and stuff. But everything else, NBA is fucked. You and I football fans, like we know the amount of signaling that's happened in like and by football I'm talking about soccer, you know, with wearing patches with rainbows and all kinds of stupid shit. It's everywhere. It's top to bottom. They've captured it, and look, they worked very, very hard and for decades to make sure that they got that, because it was they knew that was where their influence was going to be. They didn't need the brightest ideas and to win the battle of wits if they could just control some of the culture, right? That's they knew that.
With Dana White, for example, Dana White wouldn't give a fuck about your politics.
He's openly said that. We know where his are at, but he's openly said, I don't give a fuck.
He will let somebody say what they want to say,
right?
But he'll allow someone else to say something else as well. That's where he differs. You know, I don't care what your politics is. It's not my fucking thing. You get in the ring, you fight, and the audience will determine who they want to root for or whatever. Yeah, that's where he's coming from. Whereas we're coming from a very different position in entertainment and TV and comics. Let's bring comics in, where if you dare have what's the opposing viewpoint, then you're pushed out.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. You're pushed out and you don't have a voice. And you not that us as customers, I would say for the most part, give a fuck about your ideology, nor do we want it crammed into a Batman story or a Superman story or whatever, right?
Thanks.
We just want interesting stories that are well told, good characters, well written, good art, blah blah blah. Because these are aesthetic things as well as visual in terms of the writing, etc. So yeah, that's where the West is failing, because it's like we have our politics and we must in every instance push it into every facet of entertainment, of film, of tabletop, of comic. Fuck off. Go fuck yourself. Fuck off. You're not interesting. You're fucking useless. You're fat. You smell. Your fucking mum dresses you funny. You know, you're a fucking virgin. You've never made a fucking woman come in your life. You never touched a titty bag. Okay. You're impotent. You can't get it up. You can't fucking perform. You just fuck off. Right? We just want to have some fun, right? I don't want a fucking wheelchair in a dungeon because some fucking tosser at Wizards of the Coast goes, well, we're exclusive to disabled people. Do you know what the word fantasy fucking means? Because I can't talk because I'm not disabled, but I'm pretty fucking sure that most people in a wheelchair would be more in kin to having the fantasy of being a barbarian or whatever, running around in the fields, fucking swinging their axe, cutting these fucking dipshits' heads off. They're going, would you like it, disabled, crippled fuck, if I put a ramp in a dungeon so you can feel represented? No, actually, no. I'd feel far more represented living out my fantasy as some fucking ripped up barbarian smashing through the fields of fucking Valhalla or whatever. But that's where we are. Oh, sorry, we can't have interracial relationships now with Dungeons and Dragons because that's not right. It's not right if humans and elves are fucking. Well, wait a minute, but you're attaching to different colors of people on the planet, like orcs are black people, apparently, according to some fucking white retarded dude. So by that, you're saying that ethno states we shouldn't fucking. So they're so fucking kerfuffled with all their fucking ideology. They don't know what they're fucking doing. That you end up with goddamn crippled spider fucking lesbian trans woman with a fucking chair on her back, her legs flapping in the fucking wind, crutches to fire goddamn webs out of, and apparently we're meant to think that is a serious fucking character. Fuck off. You are a fucking joke. And this is what happens when you allow this shit to thrive.
Yep, that's true.
It turns into freaking parody.
It does. You put it perfectly. It gets more and more ridiculous because people didn't like. I guess they didn't have enough, the balls to just say, "Look, guys, this is out of control." Okay, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing? But yes, it's infested everything, and I think that. Look, sure, some people are going to be like, "Well, it's easier for you to say because now that you got your own company." I'm not the only company around. Not the only comic book company around that's independent. There's other independent comics that are doing their thing. There are other there are smaller filmmakers, there are smaller animators that are doing their thing that are in the West. And look, if that means that some of the things that are so recognizable that maybe were part of your childhood, maybe aren't at the forefront of what you generally consume as a customer, so be it. So be it. It is what it is. Let it happen. Because I just do not think that they're gonna make any adjustment positively, because I think they're pissed off, especially now that they lost. Right? I mean, look at all these crap. Did you seen what's going on? Like, for example, on Reddit, where you have all these big which God bless you if you use that site regularly, but it's like they're trying to get rid of X links essentially on there being used.
Dude, I would rather dip my fucking dick in molten lava than spend a fucking minute on Reddit.
I know.
If you put all the time I've spent on Reddit in my life together, I think we might get about 90 seconds.
Yeah, it's not the place to be. That's for sure. But again, it serves as an example, right? Of these people are going to take the L that they feel came with Trump's being their president again, definitely out here, as an attack on them. And I think that you're going to get another wave of media. That's what I say. But I think you're going to get another wave of media from properties, right? Or having properties attached to them that you are fond of, doing exactly what they did at 2016 and beyond. Some of those things that we just now started to see, because like with games, it takes a very long time to develop. I think you're going to get more of it. So I just don't want people. I do believe on the issue alone, definitely with DEI, they're starting to. People that have been calling it for what it is are gaining ground. Let's say that. That said, I don't think people should mistake that as the properties that they've known and loved that have been run into the ground are going to somehow pivot.
No, they're not. I don't
believe that.
No, I don't.
I don't. And I don't want people to get their hopes up.
No. But in the same instance, it at least gives people hope that somebody would be like, right, great, this fucking shit's over. Let's rise with this IP.
Yes.
We're now gonna bring this is our idea that we've been working on. Boom, and people are like, I
think that's what's gonna happen.
I'm okay with that.
Well, I think that's what people should get used to happening. And yeah, maybe that's leading the charge is, again, maybe they're not extra blockbusters. It's a new age, and you're going to have people like, I guess, doing what some feel is skipping the line. We're seeing what's happening right now in games, where there's a lot of independent studios that are, they're getting a solid following, producing various video games. I think that's just what it's going to look like. And yeah, it's going to be this property is going to, come up. And yeah, maybe it was created last year. It's not attached to the mainstream, but it's liked. And I think that's what I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think for the future, and if ground is going to continue to be gained on this specific issue, I think that success is not going to look like major property turning. I think success is going to look like people embracing more independent media and finding new properties to get really, really involved in, because they're going to end up ditching some of what's attached to the mainstream, because I don't see those guys ever changing. And if it is going to change, it's going to take about as much as it's going to take as long as it took them to infiltrate. It's probably going to take that. And
yeah.
and that's a while. And I think, again, if you have this hope that it's going to turn itself around, it's going to have to hit rock bottom, and then there's going to have to be a transfer of ownership. Like, I just don't see as Star Wars as an example, just using this as an example.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just using this as an example, I don't see under the Disney brand that turning into like it whatever that looks like to you. Maybe it's different for everybody, but them making an adjustment, I don't think it's going to happen. A positive one, that is. I don't think that's going to happen under Disney.
No, I don't think. I absolutely agree. And if you want an example in the gaming industry, just look no further than Naughty Dog's whatever the fuck that was, the Acolyte Part 2. Yeah, Intergalactic Acolyte.
What's the Heretics? I don't know. Something.
The Heretic Prophecy or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The only heretic is fucking Neil Cuckman. So you just have to look at that. It probably was the most tone-deaf thing that came at the right time, that like the funniest time, where people are so done with this nonsense, and then Naughty Dog are just like, hold my soy mocha latte, because here we are, boys, with this ugly, fucking bint. But I want to move away from that, because we've already fucking shat all over Naughty Dog plenty over the last few weeks. I want to just pick up a point on DEI and the rescission of DEI, because if I was just from a logical standpoint, why would you fear the removal of DEI? Why would you fear the return to the meritocracy, right? Because if the whole point of DEI was to put people into positions that never stood a chance, okay, from minorities, blah, 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 the meritocracy wouldn't care, because the meritocracy would be like, well, we could have 20 trans people on this team because they were the best people.
If they ended, if somehow that happened, and they just were absolute rock stars,
that would be all of the actual legitimate trans people on planet Earth.
That's about how many of them there are. 20. I think that's accurate. Yeah. You may be overshooting it a little bit, but give or take.
Hey, it's my birthday Saturday.
I got
you.
So
I'm feeling in a good mood. I'm feeling kind. Or just for example, saying, well, it's fine if you return to the meritocracy, then the best people are going to get the jobs. So why would you be afraid? Because if you're afraid, if you're saying that's not fair, then to me, you're saying that the people we're putting into these positions are not qualified.
Yeah.
And would lose their jobs by your own sort of definition, your own clapback about it. And you need your DEI initiatives, your ESG initiatives to push your progressive ideology, or however your inclusion, diversity, your quotas, which we all know are not there because these people are progressive. They're because it gets them their money.
Yep.
Because when you boil down all of this ideological shit, you have the troops, you have the believers, like with any cult. But the people at the top, they're always doing it purely for the fucking money, the funding that they'll get from whichever it is, BlackRock or wherever, Vanguard, BlackRock, blah, blah, blah. It's all about the fucking funding. And all you just need is stupid people to fucking go along with it. All you need is for stupid people to believe and buy into the ideology. They'll become your troops. They'll become your foot soldiers. They'll fight the fucking war, and you'll take the fucking money.
And I will go even deeper to that. I mean, they know that they need these sort of illegitimate forms of funding. By illegitimate, I'm meaning that they're not. This isn't a market. It's a free one, right? These people aren't competing like out there or anything. It's purely ideological, right? So if you have to your point, like a legitimate meritocracy, these people don't get funding, and this is why they from the government especially, they fight so hard for it, be it with DEI initiatives and quotas and affirmative action and all that, because they know they wouldn't stand a chance because they're fucking unqualified, or there's no true demand for what they are providing. This is when you hear me say fake job, chat. That's what I'm always talking about, right? There's no true market demand. If all of the regulatory bodies were removed, all of the funding, the fake money that they're getting was removed, would this job exist?
No,
it wouldn't.
It would not.
Yeah,
they exist purely for the funding.
Yes.
They exist purely for that. And Larry Fink has fucking said this.
Yeah.
We need to force behaviors.
Force behaviors is literally what he said.
The BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, not the good show that's on a Tuesday with Nerdrotic and Mauler and Hill versus Babyface. The BBC have their own inclusion and diversity initiatives where you have to literally tick a fucking percentage box. We need to have X amount of women in this. We need to have X amount of disabled people, X amount of brown people, X amount of gay people, X. That isn't fucking the meritocracy. That, by definition, you're not going to be hiring the best people for the job.
It's impossible to do it under those set of circumstances.
Utterly. Now, within the meritocracy, diversity can exist.
Yeah.
But
that's a voluntarily arrived one.
Yes, but the meritocracy cannot exist in DEI. It's antithetical to it. So one can exist within the other, but the other cannot exist within the other one.
And I have a sense that some of them, for sure, maybe your foot soldiers don't, but I think a lot of them know that, look, if it weren't for this sort of financial backing that we were getting in a lot of cases bought directly from the state, so it's coming from taxpayers, right? One way or another, they know that they would serve to exist. It needs some sort of institution that's funding it, because if it existed just purely based on marketing, though this is a very micro way of looking at it, the chat probably can correct me. I don't know if you guys saw, there was some official, was it Wizards? I think it was Wizards was funding some like gaming fucking, I don't know whatever to call it, organization. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, for gaming. I don't know.
It was something like that. Chat, I'm sure some people in chat will give
for fun. I mean, a
clarification. But Wizards were basically funding them directly, and they said that apparently Wizard pulled the funding and weren't funding them anymore, and therefore they can't even host anything that they had been doing prior to that. You know what that tells me? You wouldn't have existed had it not been for that, right? Like, yes. you needed to be entirely subsidized. Your shit ideas needed to be entirely subsidized, by obviously this bigger institution for your fake and fraud venture, right? And that's a lot of what we see. And some of them are at least self-aware enough, and those are the dangerous ones that understand, look, they can't exist unless there's someone else subsidizing it, which is why they fight so damn hard for that. These people have gone through their universities, got all of their fake ass degrees, and now they in whatever studies of human fucking lesbian backgammon or whatever the fuck, right? Studies, right? And then that's a fake degree. You can't do anything with that, but you can probably slide into some position of some fucking fake DEI department, and that's exactly what the point is there. That's what they're attempting to do. So they know, like, look, guys, if we remove this external funding, we're gone. We're cooked. Nobody, who's gonna hire you? Why the fuck would you hire? If you're operating on your own money, that's like us. Why would I have a DEI department? I would a multi-million-dollar company. Why would the fuck would I have a DEI department? That's a waste of fucking payroll. That's a waste of all that.
That's not fair. You tick your own box.
Well, that's also fair, right? But I'm hiring people that the best that we have access to and the best that are available for us. And I don't really give a fuck what box you tick there, right? I don't need to have some department that's specifically there to make sure that you guys have at least 20% gay, lesbian, and whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but you're in the business of making money. You want to make some money, right? You want to make profit. You want to have cash flow so you can do other projects. You want the company to grow. You want the company to be successful. So that's why you don't have a DEI team.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Because look at Feminine Frequency, right? A whole fucking grifter organization. What happened when Anita Sarkeesian ran out of the money?
She we
already know that the diverse people that she hired, a lot of them were on the free. A lot of them were there voluntarily while she was in Italy fucking buying art. And then as soon as all the money ran out, as soon as the grift ran out, fucking shut down. Bye. What happens when Sweet Baby Inc. By the way, I was doing fucking Sweet Baby Inc. videos in fucking October of 20 fucking 3. What happened when Sweet Baby Inc. get fucking shouted out, called out, right? When the light goes on their organization, what do you fucking do? You're a group of fucking people with basically no overheads whatsoever. You go into a company that has a fucking dipshit who's into the DEI because their company's now employed the fucking DEI system because they want to get their fucking fundings. And then they'll go, we'll pay you a lot of money to go, yeah, make that fucking woman black. Have you ever thought about making the main character black and a woman instead of a... That's all. Literally all they fucking do. We'll consult on your script. Okay, your script here should say more stuff that's aligned to our political,
that's what they did. That's literally what they did. Yes. And
then what happens when they get called out and people are just like, oh, well, if they're involved in these games, we're not fucking buying them anymore. Suddenly like they either crawl into the shadows or have to work from the shadows, or they don't fucking get any work at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what fucking happens. I'm not even joking, Eric. I could start an organization tomorrow called Diversity for Dice. And it's an organization that is looking to push inclusion, diversity into tabletop gaming. Dude, I could fucking make that a fucking company that worked. In this climate, that's how retarded it is.
You'd get funding. Government probably would. You get probably all the grants and shit that you want.
Apply for grants, and then once I got the grants, once got the government funding, I'll hire some. Maybe I'll call Gothics up, right? Get Gothics. Get Gothics up, right? Gothics. I need you to be my fucking spokesperson. I need you to go to these companies. Okay, I'll pay you this. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the grift is. This is the grift. Boom. We'd make a fucking fortune before. Yeah, we'd make a fuck
be federally protected. You'd be good. You'd be fucking good if you did that for sure.
That's why we have Black Girls in Gaming, Sweet Baby Inc., all of these fucking organizations because it's no fucking overhead. And they know the fucking grift.
Yeah.
And the grift is DE fucking I.
Yeah. And if shield, it's an active shield. You can hide behind it for anything. And it's bad. But yeah, I mean, it is one of those things that if any company worth salt, I mean, hell, if they wanted to make money, that it'd be simple. You wouldn't have that department existing. It wouldn't be a thing. It's funny. Jordan was just in the chat and she mentioned, she said Eric had no idea he hired a cripple, when he hired me. And that's the honest to God truth. Crazy talented video editor, needed it, brought her on. It was that simple. She happened to be disabled, didn't even fucking know, didn't give a shit. Didn't care, didn't ask.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, didn't care, right? Didn't need to have some fucking fake ass department to ensure that I had a certain amount of disabled people within the company or working for me. That's just not how this shit works. But to your point, as that you made earlier, if you are worth a damn, And it may end up being diverse. I just did a video on this, on talking about this and how diversity is basically a side effect, right? It's like, depending on what it is that you're doing, right? What that human affair is, sure, it may end up having different types of people, but it'll be completely involuntarily arrived. The same could be said if you're doing something, and let's say it's 99% a thing, like maybe it's 99% white men that are making this game. So what? What's the problem? If they're the best available, maybe they live, I don't know, in a country like Poland or something like that, where it's not a whole lot of guys of my color that are around there, right? So what? What's the problem? But unfortunately, it's gotten so ridiculous that people look at that makeup, right? And that alone, no matter if it was voluntarily arrived or not, they don't care. They look at the makeup of something and they say, well, something is inherently wrong because this percentage is not represented in your company. It's the dumbest shit ever, but unfortunately, they've been leading the charge with this nonsense.
So when's the NFL going to balance the number of white people in it? No,
probably not happening.
When's the NBA going to?
Probably not happening.
But isn't this the whole point?
It's funny. That's how crazy that things have gotten. Like, you will see those working examples and there's a lot of different reasons as to why culture they came from. And sometimes it is genetic, right? Depending on what part of Africa, east, west, you have certain fast twitch muscle fibers, which literally you have an advantage, right? Over people. And
yeah, but they don't get the view. So they won't rest until every African can watch The View. Only then will they be free.
Only then will they be free. It's stupid. It's so fucking ridiculous. And it is crazy to hear like the president just saying something normal. Like, hey, yeah, we're going to get rid of this stuff and we're just going to focus on meritocracy like we should have. And we're, unfortunately, because I don't want to say been conditioned, it's just things have been so shit for so long, right? That people we look at that and obviously you chant and you clap at it because it's like, yeah, about time. Then you take a step back and it's like, how fucked up did things get?
Imagine if the NBA, let's get rid of the color thing because that's too easy. Okay. Imagine if the NBA brought in a new rule saying that due to the fact that the NBA is very discriminatory towards short people. So every team now must have somebody that is below 5'5". Okay? Every team. So now somebody has to be removed from the team.
Yes, it's taking up a roster spot.
To now accommodate a 5'5" person. Or maybe even shorter. Yeah?
Yeah, Muggsy size. Muggsy was 5'3".
And so they do that. And so every NBA team now has to have, so they've all got them. So somebody's lost their position. Somebody that had earned their position has now lost their position. But then it's not enough. It's not enough that you have just one 5'5" or below person. Now, the NBA has to have a dwarf, somebody that suffers from dwarfism, that can be no higher than 4'11" or whatever it is, as well as a 5'5". Now, two people.
Now we got two spots going.
Two people have earned their role positions that have gone. That is fucking DEI.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That is DEI in action at your company. Taking the spots of people that have earned them and replacing them with people who don't. And it always is going to come at the detriment of your company.
Yeah, always have.
It's okay, but we get paid. We get paid. We are being paid to push these incentives.
And I think, especially with what he's done, with what Trump, or rather him and his administration, and one thing that I think they could really set the tone. Again, it's more of just doing the obvious, but the funding, man, like it goes deep. If you actually, especially when you're talking about grants, government grants and like these fake what do you call, like research, definitely with schools and shit, bro.
Oh, all the research is just fucking leaning in one fucking direction.
It's all fake, man. But they're
we
like
did a cross section of 3 people.
But these guys, you looking at like, how much did we give this research group? What do you mean we gave them $16 million to do this stupid ass fucking to investigate if lizards could walk on treadmills or some shit?
Yes, sir.
Like, which by the way, that actually was a thing. As well as pigeons playing slot machines. Not joking. Go read, I think 2 years ago, with the pigeons playing slot machines. You probably can type that up and you can see Rand Paul's Festivus report. Yes, your taxpayer money in America went to studies paying for pigeons, if they seeing if pigeons could play fucking slots. Not even joking. But that's the type of shit that we are dealing with here. It's ridiculous, right? And they would cease to exist. And I don't even want to say that I empathize with you, because I really don't. You shouldn't have went to school and got your fake ass degree. Okay. But I do understand that the removal of these people, not even of these people, of the policies, the DEI policies, would mean that there's going to be a lot of people probably out of work. Figure it out. Sorry. Your job is fake. It's not real. There's no market really for it, right? And we've seen this even at, again, maybe not at the governmental level so much, but we've seen it at the business level. What happened as when Elon cut, like, what was it, damn, the 90%, whatever the percentage was.
80% of staff,
80% of staff. What happened?
Yeah, nothing. You couldn't tell. You could not tell a fucking thing had changed at Twitter at the time.
Jobs are fake.
A lot of fake jobs. A lot of fake fucking jobs. But of course, Twitter wasn't in the market. Twitter was in the disinformation market, and that's what a lot of those people were there
for. That's what we found for the Twitter files.
Yeah.
They're working directly with the government.
Directly directly
with the fucking government, man. And now you have even like what's his name? Fucking Facebook, Zuckerberg, similar shit, right? Of what it's all fake and gay, for lack of better terms. None of it's real. This whole DEI push, the some of these other narratives, yes, pertaining to like the jab and all that stuff, it was all fake and gay. It's not real, but it's manufactured, I think, is the term that we should be using here. And that meddles with the market. And what I despise is when you have policies like that, and then you have like these snarky sort of leftists that would dare to say this has something to do with like freer markets. And like, what does free market have to do with government subsidizing terrible ideas? That don't sound like free market to me. What does that have to do with
follow the trail? Follow the trail. It ends in money.
Exactly. It's fake. It's fake. It's not real. It's entirely subsidized. And oftentimes, I don't think people know just how much your government is stealing from you to pay for these efforts in multiple different ways, right? And some of it you'll never see. You didn't vote on it, right? It was just that they allocated this amount of funds and they routed it to some research group of a bunch of leftists at some fucking university to figure out if gay pigeons could play slot machines or homosexual lizards could walk on treadmills, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, what price we need? If we had $16 million, we could make this happen. Wait, excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what a rational person say, but it's not their money. They stole it already from everybody else. So they're like, yeah, fuck it, take it.
Well, exactly. That's a lot. It's a lot of not my money. So have it.
Yeah, here you go. It's yours. It's not like we're the ones fucking paying for it, right? We'll vote to give ourselves a raise, even if
they get patted on the back for pushing a new initiative.
Yep.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, every time it works. It's ridiculous, man. It is.
Red tape wins again.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, that's not free market. That's all fake. Which is why I think again, it is important for us to have a lot of those policies removed, because that's where the influence comes from. And I'm just not trying. I'm sorry, you maybe call me cold-hearted about it, but I just look at it like, look, there's a lot of people without work that actually are worth a damn, but your position isn't. So you like being able to figure out, like, I don't know, you're getting paid a full salary to figure out, I don't know how many homosexuals you can fit in this company, or whatever like that. That's not necessary.
How many gay people can fit in a Mini?
Here's $16 million for it. Actually, we'll give you it's all fake and gay, and it needs to be removed. And once it's removed, that financial incentive, you'll start to see the market really, really adjust, and that may mean. And look, I'd say this as a guy that went to college. A lot of it's a fucking scam. Okay. It's not, you can't do shit with a lot of degrees. It's funny, especially when you start to get in like the more like philosophical lesbian dance theory shit, right? All of that stuff. The only thing you could imagine, only thing you could do is get a DEI job, right? Where it was specifically like basically the company mandated itself to have it there, or it's the Ponzi scheme of working within the university system where you teach a bunch of people to get that degree. And that's the only thing that you can do with it, is teach other people getting it at a university.
What are you going to do with dude, what are you going to do with a gender studies degree?
You can't do shit with it.
There's one question. How many genders? Two.
Thanks for the degree.
Pass. Thanks for the degrry.
I have now a bachelor's in gender studies. I have it all figured out. I appreciate that. But no, it's nothing. There's no true market demand for that shit. There's a lot of fake shit, like fake jobs that may need it. Fake departments within the government, right? We were talking about it on Tuesday, chat. What was it like at least like 1,000 or some government positions? Obviously, none of these guys were voted in. It's all bureaucratic bullshit where these guys were told basically, get the fuck out. You're fired.
Oh. Shame.
Bye. Sucks to suck.
Like the Argentinian government,
I love it. But shout out Javier Malay over there doing great. They think it's funny. It's like it was the same thing that happened with him, right? He's moving all these fake ass departments. Everybody, the country's gonna collapse. And those guys are doing pretty good over there, huh?
And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Thriving
now. Actually. It's been a long time since Argentina economically, especially, has been doing as good as they have been doing, despite removing all of this bullshit that everybody
they should do. They should learn to code. That's what they should do. Learn to code.
Find a useful skill, right? Just find a useful skill. The market will find a place for you. But the whole DEI gimmick, you all know that we're right on this. We all know that you can try to say that this is about more racism or all this other stupid shit. The job is fake. There's no true demand for anything that you do. And if it was axed and you were out without a job, those that I guess somehow snuck in that had a little bit of talent, they'll be fine. And maybe some of you other guys are going to have to go back to the drawing board and actually get a skill outside of gender studies and having some piece of paper that said you studied this. I mean, I don't know if you guys have looked at the certain degrees. I saw like some video. Obviously, it came from TikTok that ended up on Twitter. And it was a bunch of shit. It was probably like, this would have had to been maybe in May or so when all these graduations and stuff were happening. And you had all these women, of course, listing off what degree that they had. As I hadn't heard of none of that shit.
Oh, dude, I've been scrolling through Instagram. Some of these reels are based as fuck. You got this, like, one of them was some fucking woman in Starbucks going, "This is me. What am I doing here? I have a gender studies degree," or whatever it was. And he just like, I think we found the problem. I think we found the reason why you are actually there and you don't have a proper job in your eyes.
Yeah, you thought you were better when you figured out that, wait a minute, there's not an actual use for this shit.
No, I mean, where?
Yeah, other than the government, other than the most efficient companies and government, and when they often go back hand in hand, those are the only people that can afford to bring these folks in, because nobody operating on, like, you know, needing to maintain some sort of amount of revenue in a private, as a private institution, a private company, is going to do that. It's payroll that they can't afford. But I guess when you're stealing from taxpayers, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, that thing I put up about 200 jobs at Jaguar. Yeah, Jaguar have confirmed at Jaguar's Land Rover's Halewood site that as many as 200 employees are looking to take voluntary redundancy, aka you got to get rid of 200 people. But you know, maybe Neil Patrick Harris will buy a pink Jaguar and it'll all be worth it.
Yeah. You mean to tell me just having gender bent weirdos and bright colors?
The advert, right? Seriously, I get avant-garde. I get art. You know, I get the pomposity of some of it. We're talking about a fucking car, right? We're not talking about something from Cartier that she's gonna wear out to the fucking Hollywood parties, or I'm gonna wear to my big executive meetings. We're talking about British racing green Jaguar, a staple of masculinity, a staple of quality for God knows how many decades. Having seen that advert said to me, just as a regular normal guy, Jaguar's just now for gay people. And I don't say that, you know, in a disrespectful way. I mean, that's literally what the advert said to me. It said Jaguar's for gay people. If you know, this is it. If you're straight, and then you saw what they look like, and there's this big pink Jaguar, and you're like, yeah, Jaguar's just for gay people. That's it. So that's 3% of the population that you're now targeting. How many of those have the means to buy a Jaguar? 6.
Are we? I wouldn't even go that far, man. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, you're appealing to a demographic that doesn't typically have money like that. So I mean, you're talking
you're talking about an exclusive car that, with, you know, because it is an exclusive car, because a lot of people all across the whole country simply does not have the money to buy a Jaguar. Okay, so you're talking about an exclusive car, and then you're saying to all the people that have the financial means, and there is a sort of like a box, because if you got even more money, then you're not buying a Jaguar. You're buying something else, a Bugatti, a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, right. Or whatever. You know, Jaguar goes off the table. So there's this sort of window within itself, and then you're going, we're just gonna take out 97% of it. We just want to get rid of the straight people. That's your marketing.
And we saw that guy with the fucking gay shirt on, whatever, and he was talking about
12, was it 9 divisions, 8 divisions?
Yeah.
We
he
have
was
set
bragging
up
about it.
9 DEI divisions at Jaguar. I see your company's dead. Gotcha.
And somebody just should have said, what about the cars?
Well, they were at the Attitude Awards, which was an Attitude's a gay mag, isn't it? So So Jaguar, again, we're shooing down who their audience now is. They're telling us this is not discriminatory. This is just a fact of what they've marketed it as. A car for gay people. A car for an exclusive band of gay people that they hit like a fucking particle layer in the rings of Saturn.
Yeah. Don't understand it. But look how, I mean, who would have thought Jaguar of all people would have ended up there? But this is how deep this stuff runs.
But it's also working off the assumption that these gay people are fucking retarded, which they're not going to be. You know, there's going to be a lot of gay people in that bracket that just go, dude, I'm like, you're just trying to sell me because I'm gay? No, I'm going to buy the BMW blah, 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 because it's far more of it. You know, whatever. So they literally have an audience of about fucking 5 people.
And you did a whole commercial over it, and I just didn't understand it. It's one of those things that I just did not get, and I still don't get it to this day. I'm not sure what the angle was.
To go out of business. That was the angle, to go out of business.
Oh man, but we see it so much in like with like some of the gaming stuff too, man. I mean, it is very, very interesting, and not necessarily in just how it's marketed, though. If you want to say, you know, Dragon Age, which I know everybody's waiting for your fuck off. Who's gonna drive that?
Look, this is Jaguar, a company. It's got 1.2 million followers on Twitter. They got 2.9k likes. That's likes. Now, what bracket of those likes are going to purchase one of these? I'm going to go with none. And this is the 4th of December as well. So this is nearly 2 months ago now. This is Jaguar's revolutionary idea. Dare to be different. Dare to be. That is one of the ugliest fucking cars I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wouldn't be caught dead
like,
in it. Actually, that's the only way I would be in it, is if I was dead.
Dude, this looks like a place that you would go to get a private hand job from Liberace. Right? That's what this looks like.
Talking about the gay Spider-Man?
Yeah,
that's the only one?
It's the Liberace jerk-off booth. That's what it looks like. And the wheels are there simply to push it around to the next venue that Liberace would be. How are you meant to be taken seriously? British Racing Pink.
You're not. You're not, and it goes company to company, man. And it's like at this point, it's like, what the fuck? Are you? And I don't want to say deranged, but I'll let know what your thoughts are. If someone is still holding on to seeing like examples of this and all the stuff that we've spent the last 5 years plus, hell, 10 years talking about how much it's infested various forms of media. If you're still holding out hope, how would you define that person? Delusional? Like if you're still holding out hope that they are, well, let me actually preface that even better. If you're still holding out hope that they are somehow going to be like in the near future, the train is going to be back on the tracks.
No. Look, the people that we've been calling out over the course of the last few years, today, January the 22nd, 2025, they are not looking to course correct. Okay?
I'm glad you said that.
Your Naughty Dogs, your Ubisofts, your Activision Blizzards, these companies, they are not looking to course correct. So if you're expecting a change, you're certainly not going to get a change, particularly with video game production, for example, where it's 5 to 6 years of production a game, at least. You're probably not going to get any change from those companies if they are so inclined to be forced into one. And by forced, I mean getting rid of a bunch of fucking people and actually getting talent back in as opposed to fucking DEI. 2030. But what you should be excited for, as I've stressed earlier, is this is given a green light to people who maybe have lost their positions or left the company because they no longer believe they can function within this system of DEI. And so they've created their own companies and then are going to produce their next games. And I said it in my last video, but there is not a world. We do not live in a world where we owe Ubisoft or Activision Blizzard or Naughty Dog or
it doesn't even matter. All those games companies, or
EA. We don't owe them fucking shit.
You don't owe them anything.
Oh, by the way, an FYI, by the way, you know that Jaguar that I showed you?
Yeah.
That Jaguar was so proud to show off and blah blah. That's a non-production vehicle.
Right.
They're not even. It's not even going into production.
Right.
This is their statement. The Liberace handjob booth. That's their statement. So no, that's what you should be excited for. You should be excited for X company showing off bang. And it's literally coming out of nowhere. Kind of like how, just for argument's sake, how Wukong kind of came out of nowhere and people just like boosh. How Stellar Blade kind of came out of nowhere. It's like bang. That's what we're going to start getting more of. The companies that just like, okay, we actually understand the demographic. We understand the audience, what a gamer is. And we're going to appeal to them. And gamers like good gameplay. Gamers like choice. Gamers like good aesthetics. Gamers like good characters, good right. You can take some of them or all of them. It's up to you. But that's what they'll be doing. And your other companies, your big companies, they're going to start going the way of Ubisoft.
And so what? Like, I love that you brought up.
And so what?
We don't owe these guys anything. You don't owe them anything. And I get it. Oh yeah, there was a property that you liked and enjoyed, but there will be many more, and that's okay. And I think that again, the optimism that I have is that there's a lot of people that have reached that point, like like you and I got to where us spending hundreds of dollars every week to buy some stuff like from the comics. You're like, I can't do this anymore. Like I just can't. Like this is I just can't do it. It's a bad investment. And I'm not even talking about a bad investment like to flip the stuff. I'm saying on my like. I can't get even invested in it. Like, right?
That's where it's gone. That's where it's gone.
There you go. Prime example of what you just brought up. And I think you're going to see that pretty much in every single entertainment industry. And I think as more people realize, oh, that ain't so bad. Sure, that it's not like you don't have your old games, right? Like, that you played, you still have those, or your old comics that came out whenever they came out. You still have those. They still exist.
There seems to be a mentality or a perception, at least, that we have to consume new stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But when the new stuff isn't going forward, because it's not bringing anything to the table, what happens? You invariably look back. And when you're in industries like the gaming industry, when you're in the comic book industry, the TV industry, the movie industry, the problem that they have is when you stop going in that direction and look back, you realize that you have a catalog of comics, books, games that you never have to look in this direction again.
Yep.
And that's the attitude that they need to have at their companies going forward.
No.
We don't have to buy the new video game.
You don't.
We
just
don't
because
have
it has
to see the
X
new
property
movie.
attached to it or X company attached to it. You don't have to.
But this is our new thing. So what?
So what?
So what? I don't know you shit.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know you
Facts.
shit.
Facts. And I think as more people figure that out, the better it's going to be. And like, look, I do think, and I always talk about like how I do think that there is going to be a difference between like, what we have right now versus, or what we've had in the past versus what we're going to have in the future, and how like entertainment companies are going to be set up. Because games, prime example, how many games are out there, be it on Steam or whatever, that have gained a decent amount of following, sometimes turn the developers into millionaires, that was developed by like 3 people, right?
Valheim, crazy, whatever it, you know, Doodle Jump, just there's a fuck ton.
There's a bunch
Bird, shit like that,
Yeah, it's a bunch of them, man. And I think that's just how it's gonna look. Does that mean that it's gonna have like all of this sort of high graphical, like I don't know, like the fidelity of the you're gonna be able to see the pimples on the, like, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not a blockbuster fucking thing where it makes $1 billion if we're talking films. Maybe it's not a comic book that sells 5 million. But it'll still be wildly successful and accessible. And I'm not talking like accessibility. I'm saying that people are going to be able to find and get it and buy it if they want it.
I don't care how realistic Abby's labia looks like in The Last of Us Part fucking 3. Is the gameplay good? Is it
That's
interesting?
king.
Are the characters investment worthy? How's the writing? That's what I care about. I have had so much fun on Mist Survival, a game that's been predominantly made by one guy. I believe they've now hired a couple of other people to work on it. I've had infinitely more fun on that game than I have with God knows how many AAA games that I don't even go near. I don't going to go near COD anymore. I don't go near Assassin's Creed. I don't go near these fucking these crap ass, just annual franchise or every couple of year dumpsters. It's about entertainment. It's about fun. Sunday fun day. We tend to more towards the independent side.
Yeah, a lot of the games y'all have been playing have been more into like
cheap ass games.
Stuff.
Yeah, cheap ass games. Every so often we'll go into something else which is deemed a little bit bigger. But predominantly, we are looking specifically for the small indie game multiplayer that you can have fun on with your mates because it's Sunday fun day and it's more you mucking around in the chat as sort of like watching in from a dome as opposed to an interactive stream. And the audience though are watching it and fucking laughing away at how fucking retarded we all are trying to play this game. But if that's, these aren't games where you can see the fucking black head on somebody's bloody nose. No, they are conceptualized with good ideas, and fun mechanics that get you invested in that. I was so happy to see Intergalactic for Naughty Dog. What a basic ass game. First of all, the name. So fucking basic. Intergalactic. Oh, how long did it take you to think that one up, Neil Cuckman? Did Anita Sarkeesian fucking tell you she's whacking you off?
But it has a fancy subtitle.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know what it actually is.
Exactly. So fancy. Nobody can fucking remember.
Nobody can repeat it because nobody. You gotta look it up.
With a character that's just the epitome of a fucking DIE hire.
Yeah.
With a personality that already what they showed in the trailer that you just found her obnoxiously annoying. I was just like, I am so. And then you just look back and you think, what have Naughty Dog done? Pre Amy Hennig leaving the company. What had Naughty Dog done? You know, well, we had wonderful Uncharted games. We had the first Last of Us game. You could tell who was the fucking main drive behind that in terms of story now. You know, never mind all your Crash Bandicoot and all that. Everyone fucking loves Crash Bandicoot. And then you look post Amy Hennig, and then you look at the rise of Cockman, and what's he given us? Fucking trannies in an apocalypse and fucking intergalactic twat. That's these aren't even creative people.
I don't know what the let's just say that company is going in an interesting direction. It'll be. I did do a video, and I said,
I'm all for it.
The video we talked about, it was basically, well, no, I did a video basically talking about what we had talked about before, and it was like the only thing that could save it, nobody believes they're gonna do, and that is like, okay, maybe it was a bait and switch. You have all these skins or whatever with this character to not basically make her a bald head with Michael Jackson's Thriller jacket, or you could or the gameplay is just something that absolutely is next level. And you brought up the good point when we last talked about it. Like, well, what have they shown you over the last year? We're far removed from like the Crash days. None of those guys are there. They're not really a big gameplay driven company anymore. So what have they shown you in the more recent releases that they could even do that? And it's like, well, but that will be what would have to happen.
And the Assassin's Creed game that's coming out, what did they just say recently about it? This is the first game this is the first game for a lot of the development team, and so we've had to spend a lot of time teaching them how.
Why would you put them on that franchise?
And then he said, and they're saying things like, "Oh no, this is awful," and we're going, "No, it's good." It's like, what? You're just telling on yourself now.
We'll see what happens to that company after. What else does Ubisoft have like that's on the horizon? Don't they have something else? There's something else. Not. Or is that it? If that's it, it's done. As like
what's happened to Beyond Good and Evil 2 or whatever it was? That's bye.
Limbo.
I don't even know if it's in development anymore. How many years ago was it that they showed us the teaser? 5, 6. Somebody told me the other day, which was insane. Can you remember the Elder Scrolls 6 teaser?
Mm-hmm.
Where it just has the camera panning over like a geographical area. Somebody said to me, do you know that more time has passed between the showing of that Elder Scrolls 6 teaser and today than the release of Skyrim and the showing off of that teaser? And my mind just went.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, man. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed at least, so they have that going for them. It's the title. So if nothing else, they have that going for them. But I don't know how much they spent to develop that. And that's always the question with these companies. It's like, how much money did you spend to sink into this to where, yeah, maybe the number itself is impressive. You sold maybe 1 million copies or whatever, but it's not enough for you guys because you spent hundreds of $1 million to make this happen. And that's always the question with those massive companies and their bloat, which I don't see a lot of pivoting away from that, which may be their own doing. It's not even just the DEI. I mean, you can make an argument that the bloat is due to some of the DEI stuff, right? But yeah, man, these budgets, man, they're not improving. Let's just say that. And I think that's happening with Hollywood as well. They're not getting any better.
No,
who's talking? By the way, before I know shows going on, and we're gonna end up having to go to super chats, but I meant to bring this up.
Chat's happening, conversations happening, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. But check this out. So it is switching topics just a little bit, but talking about the whole spending effort as well as how they do themselves in. I saw someone post, "Oh well, Skeleton Crew is great. It's often you know, it's better than what we've been seeing. I'm so glad, yada yada.
Yeah.
Who the fuck else is talking about that damn show?
Well, it's the lowest viewed show, the lowest viewed Star Wars show.
I want the chat to understand. It doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't matter if you think that it's more preferable than Acolyte. That is complete and utterly irrelevant. How much they spent on that, I don't know. But it's on Disney Plus. And to my knowledge, I'm willing to be wrong on that. But we used to keep up with, like, you know, some of those quarterly you know, releases as far as the revenue and all that. Last time we checked, they have not turned Disney Plus into a profitable venture for them. Okay. So anything that goes there is a sink anyway. But if you look at it individually, if you like it, cool. If you think it's better, then whatever, cool. Y'all said the same thing about Andor, though I know Az disagrees with a lot of people on that. But you know, you had people that like that was great. It was the best that, you know, best Star Wars that we had seen. But what is it amounting to? I guess is the key thing.
Well, nobody watched Andor, and then other shows came out which nobody watched. So The Acolyte came out, which did worse than Andor. We like Andor. This is not a critique of Andor. Like it or loathe it. Mola loved it. I watched the first episode. I was bored to tears. I was told you got to really watch the first 3, and then it starts getting good. And I'm unfortunately in the tribe of I shouldn't have to wait 3 episodes for a show to get good and grab me. Okay,
or at least grab it, at least entertain you to the point that it makes you want to continue to invest in it.
Yeah. So The Acolyte came out, did worse than Andor. See, that memorable, I can't even remember his fucking name. Then The Skeleton Crew comes out, and it does worse, I think even much worse than The Acolyte. Skeleton Crew had a budget. How much do you think the Skeleton Crew's budget was for that show?
It should have been 10 million.
Okay. Very close, actually.
At most, though.
It's 136 million. $136 million.
As how can you make money on that?
You need to sell subscriptions, which they did not do because it was the lowest viewed show. What was the budget for The Acolyte?
That
was cancelled 2 weeks after the final episode of season 1.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it was Hyde and Snoop Dogg.
230 million. Burning money. Burning money. Burning money. Burning money. Star Wars, the behemoth of the silver screen, is now a money-losing show on a streaming service that nobody fucking watches. That's Star Wars. That's how far it's fallen. And under the banner of Disney, it's 99% impossible. 99.9% impossible for it to get any better.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree. And some people are going to be mad at you saying it, but it's
true. I'm not. Again, it's not. I once upon a time loved Star Wars. Disney have made me not give a flying fuck about it. It's same with comics and DC. You know, it's same with a lot of different things. Companies have made me not give a shit, and they've made me not give a shit by a mixture of terrible product, terrible treatment of the customer, and saying dumb shit like, well, this wasn't made for you. But if it wasn't made for me, as you keep fucking stressing, Why are you expecting us to watch it?
That's the key. Like, it's even with Skeleton Crew was for younger people, they aren't watching it either. And since when? Why does that distinction have to be made for a Star Wars property anyway? I don't get it, man. None of it makes sense, and it especially doesn't make sense that there's still people out there that think that they can turn this around. What have they shown you, Disney, Lucasfilm, that they are even capable of doing that? Like everything, and it's funny. We talk about this with Marvel too. We talked about it like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. With it was a couple of weeks ago. Everything that they do that people find is favorable is an outlier. I can bet your bottom dollar this is what happened with Marvel Rivals. Chinese cats come by, said, "Hey, we'll give you X percentage for the license. Just shut the fuck up and get out the way." And they said, "What do you make it? Oh, we got all these. Get fuck it, have it." And that was probably all that anybody within that company had oversaw. There was nothing else. I'm sure
they know China buys. They know China buys. They know they have a market that buys, right? Yeah. So it's just, they knew if they gave them Marvel, if they gave them this game, they knew that they had the recipe for a fucking bank. Look what happened. Because, regardless of them being little red commies, the fact of the matter is the people at the top, they want money. They like money. And so regardless of the politics, they're going to sell you a product that people are going to purchase, even though it's free in this case. But it's a game that's going to have skins and all this, and it's going to have a massive revenue stream because of it. All they had to do was make the gameplay fun. I played it. I've been playing as Frank and Spank, baby, the Punisher. I found it a lot of fun. I did a 4.5 hour stream last week. I thought it was highly enjoyable. Characters aesthetically look really, really cool. Great costumes. Look like, this ain't fucking rocket science. And what have we seen from the Western media? Complain, oh, it's everything wrong with gaming. Shut your fucking... Oh, it's my birthday on Saturday. Please support the stream when I stream, because I'm going to say, shut your fucking cunt mouth and get a big fat yellow on this stream. You know nothing about the gaming industry. You're some pathetic, ballless cuck, some fucking spinster, fucking hairy, smelly fucking bitch. You stink of cat piss and fucking depression, and you live off a diet of antidepressants, okay? You know fucking nothing. You're only at that company because you push an ideological agenda. You don't know from an objective standpoint that this makes so much fucking sense because you want fucking Abby to take her trans little fucking boyfriend, girlfriend around the fucking post-apocalypse to show how progressive she is. So this is why the Western journalism is dead. It's not going to be resuscitated. It's fucking out for the count. It's got 2 in the hair, it's got 2 in the chest, and 1 in the pooter. And this is why a game like Marvel Rivals is fucking lapping it up. They know why people like it. It's got a great aesthetic. The characters look great. The female characters look great. The costumes are great. The gameplay's great. That's all you fucking need. That is a recipe for success in any field. And you're mad because it doesn't ideologically fucking tick your fucking cat litter box. That's why you're mad. And this is why the Western gaming industry is doomed to failure. This is why BioWare will go out of business. That's an inevitability. This is why Ubisoft will fall into bankruptcy or get bought out. This is why Activision may go the same fucking direction. EA, too big to fail. That's what they said about Ubisoft just a few years ago. Too big to fail. But when you start racking up those L's,
they start to add up, bro. It happens quick.
Just look at Disney.
Quick. it happens quick, man, and you need something. So, you know, yeah, just because you've been around, and people got options these days, man. You know, people have options, and you don't owe them anything. So, as technology progresses, all of these options are starting to come into fruition, and it's only going to get. When I say options, I'm meaning like this is better, right? This is great. There's a lot of independent guys that used to be kept out of the industry, or had to follow these nonsensical rules because the money handlers were all existing through in one place, or that was the proper channel that you had to go through. Those days are gone, bro. So as more people get more accustomed to that, they're realizing that I don't have to give you all of this money. I don't have, just because you have that attached to it, I don't have to do that. More years go by, it's going to get better and better, which means worse and worse for some of these mainstream guys in the Western industry. And I think that if they continue the route that they're going, which I believe they very well will, some of them are going to go.
Oh, well.
I'm good with it. I'm perfectly fine with it. Don't hurt my feelings.
Ain't got a single problem with that.
I'm not losing any sleep over that.
Ain't got a single problem. Not a problem. Not a single fucking problem. Right, let's get these soups. I need to eat. I'm fucking hungry. Babies. HTK bass player, Cobra Commander in Chief, has been a member for 14. Thank you.
Shout out.
And not my mom with a 5 says, "Hi guys, I have a confession to make. I'm actually Brad Pitt. Will you give me access to your checking account so I can pay for life-saving surgery?"
Gotcha. Just hit me up.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah,
if it
hit
ends
me
up
up.
in a junk mail, I'll look.
I got $800,000 for you. Have a nobody. The hate monger with the $2 says, "Suck my 2 favorite Republicans." Rip,
great.
I'll see you at Mega Card. Yeah, that's
Shout
right.
out. See you there.
Chris B with the $5 says, "I think official recognition of only 2 genders slows down / stops games devs from pulling their type A/B shit, or will they go harder in the
What
paint?"
was the company that asked their audience and changed it? Who was that?
It's the company that did Lords of War. Is it CI Gaming or something? Something along CI Gaming, something like that.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, they did a poll and they said which to prefer, body type A/B, male or female, or none of the above. And it was 85% male female. So they said that we will implement it going forward in our next game. Calioth with a $10 says, "It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good." I said that really nice. As declare yourself a silverback for passport. Trump has 6 million to put framework in place. The temper tantrum will take a while. Ripper, release the lid.
Talking about this one right here.
Jeez. You're literally sitting on money. Basil578 with a $2 says, "As you're still coming to America, God bless Ripper. Fingers crossed towards the end of this year." That's the plan. Towards the end of this year.
Yeah.
Ivan with a $5 says, "I hope that 2 gender law passes. My goodwill is all gone. I've had enough of this nonsense DEI. It's just made society worse." Well, as the potential future Prime Minister of Canada said, can you tell me any other genders other than male, female? I'm willing to look at a list. But can you tell me any other genders other than male and female? Can you? Have I nobody? The hate monger with a $2 says, "When did bishops come when did bishops come in a form of woke and woman?"
When they infiltrated the church.
When the devil infiltrated the church.
Yeah, when Satan infiltrated the church.
Basil578 with a $2 says, "God bless the mighty majestic silverback as rocks." Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Basil. Alex Allen's become a member. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you. Calioth with a 10 says, "That minister dehumanized illegals by shoving them all into the box of slave labor for liberal snowflakes." Ain't that just a fact, by the way?
Yeah.
Like as we joked, we said pool boy, blah blah.
She listed everything.
Yeah, she went all through.
Oh, she thought that was a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
bro.
Subaru cleaner. They are humans and can be so much more. Accept them into society the equal and legal way. I do believe that your president or the president of the United States did say, I haven't got a problem with immigrants. They just got to do it legally. Reed Fan with a £5 says it's not in the church I serve in. We are welcoming, but we do not recognize the ordination of women or the LGBT bullshit, much to Justin Welbury's chagrin. Have a nobody the hate monger at $2 says church that participates in heresy should pay taxes. Basil 578 with a $2 says kids were and are tripwire. Hashtag leave the kids alone. Yeah, not a controversial thing to say. Just leave the kids alone.
I'm out of it, bro.
Josh Kelsey dropping a $20. Josh, thank you so much, dude. Ministry of Wrong thing with a Hooters, nice Hooters thing. With a $10 is the silver lining of Ross spending 10 plus years behind bars is he got to watch Bitcoin slowly rise to $100,000 plus per coin after being sent to prison specifically for making Bitcoin a threat.
I mean, I know they seized a lot of it when he got arrested and went through this trial and was for some reason given fucking 2 life sentences plus 40 years as if that wasn't politically motivated. You got fucking child molesters and killers that don't get that shit. But yeah, they get. I guess one could hope that they didn't get everything. And I don't know. It's tattooed on one of his old friends' arm or something, that he has some sort of wallet or something that's out there with some of the Bitcoin that they didn't get because he's gonna come out, he's gonna be loaded if that's the case.
William Jones dropping a 50 saying, fellas, thanks for the entertainment while I fix a file server. Eric, I'm converting my co-workers to the Ripperverse. One guy is not liking Absolute Batman. I'm shocked. I told him to check out Horseman and Alpha Core.
Okay. Shout out. Appreciate that. It ain't cheap either.
No, it's a big fat fitty there. And thank you, William. With a $5 says Al Sharpton is upset about Trump killing DEI. He's upset about being judged by the content of his character instead of the color of his skin. Crazy. It's crazy because
Sharpton's been a race hustler like literally forever. I mean, like, that guy's been around forever doing this same thing, hustling for race.
Race hustlers, they've always existed. Ray Gonzalez with a $2 says, remember, DEI stands for didn't earn it.
Facts.
Ain't that a fact? Basil 578 with a $10 says, Eric, all the latest stuff in the US, if it doesn't start off woke, it later becomes woke. Season 2 of Westworld, etc. Even The Walking Dead is woke as hell. All sports in America are woke as hell.
Well, yeah, that was more or less what I was talking about with that point. Like, again, stuff hit a wall, and there hasn't been much innovation outside of that. And everything's been corrupted. Everything that's been around. That's for sure.
Basil 578 with a 10. Ministry of Wrong Thing, sorry, with a $2. And I thought my Chevy had tranny issues. Well,
Jesus.
Wait till you get a load of Western culture. Caffeinate Me has been a member for 14 months. Thank you, Caffeinate Me. Joe Music 931 with the $5 says, yo, Ripper, need a Ripperverse book every day or on the weekend. Make it happen.
I mean, we're a long way away from there, but we'll see. We'll try to make it happen one day.
Maybe next year. Magical Pixie Horse to the $5 says, did you know that Mel Brooks is returning with Spaceballs 2, possibly titled The Search for More Money? I remember when Spaceballs came out, And even then, at the time, there was talk of a sequel being called The Search for More Money. Times they are not changing in that case. Fiesta Cat with a $5 says, I've gotten to where idgaff about anything Star Wars. I don't give a fuck about anything Star Wars, which is sad because as a kid, it's my favorite. Same, but they've made that happen. They made the apathy happen.
Yep. Straight apathy.
Mike Partyker with a $5 says, will the Mick Davies page on RV site be updated now that he's an old white police chief, Ison 1/Area 2, and a young black detective in Horseman 1? Two different people.
Nah, yeah, Mick Davies is a white police chief.
Yeah, the other one is Mike Davies. And different
yeah, Mick is the guy that you already know, and Ison 1 and the Ira.
Yeah, boy. Eric, anything you'd like to push before we go, sir?
Nothing else happening for me this week. Gonna get a lot of work done. We're gonna have a very, very productive week, and I get all my work done on the weekends because I'm not having to deal with like vendors and stuff like that. So I say that all the time. So go get Yaira #2. Appreciate y'all. We hit that over 7,000 books sold for that. We also have what else? We still have some Bloodroot stuff that you can grab that's still in the store. Like this cup, people will finally see me drinking out of my own damn cup now that I have them here. So you'll be able to see this and grab one of these. We actually added a drinkware category to make it easy. Maybe we come out with coffee mugs at some point. I don't know. But here you go. Go grab that metal shaker. Nice quality. Looks very, very good. Also have the Bloodroot plushie that's still there as well that you can grab if you missed out on it. And yeah, we'll keep you posted on when stuff is going to start shipping in February. Sooner than later, of course, we have MegaCon that is also right around the corner that we'll be seeing you. I'm really excited for that. So come holler at us. We'll have some panel details as well as you already know the meetup will be there. Some of us will be there, but we will be at the event with a much bigger table. Come see us. Saska's will be there. I'll be there. We also, of course, are joined by our friends. Theory is going to be there. The G&G team is going to be there. Critical Trink is going to be there. So it's going to be a great time.
Kylie off for the $5 says, who needs decrees? Decepticons did it right. Thunderdome, survival of the fittest, Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior. Speaking of which, this I just transformed this up today. My Power Master Optimus Prime. Look at that bad boy.
That is sick.
That is fucking beautiful. That is pretty fucking beautiful. So yeah, boy, he's a good boy, he's a good boy, he's a good Optimus. So that's gonna go in the that site. It's gonna go into the post season 2 stuff. Joseph the Gamer 15 with a $5 says Marvel would rather put more effort to take a white superhero and make them black than doing anything with or expand their superheroes. That's sad. That's not true, dude. That's not true at all. They might also make them suck dick.
Oh, he's not wrong. That's the crazy thing.
I know. Chat, massive thank you for watching today. This Saturday, it's a special stream. It is my 50th birthday, so I'll be doing a special stream on Saturday. There'll be plenty of guests stopping by and whatnot. Maybe even this guy here. Who knows? Who knows? So please join me for that. You'll get the details of when that's actually going to go live within the next day or so. Huge thank you to everyone who came to watch today. But before I go, Manic Pixie Fangirl with a member for 9 says, hot toy question. My USB lighting for my Deluxe Vega isn't staying on. Have you had the same problem? Any advice? I haven't plugged that one in. That one's still boxed up, but I do have my Obi-Wan Kenobi that has one of the LED light up sabers, and I haven't had any problem with it. So other than changing the cable to see if it's the connector, I would definitely get in contact with the place that you purchased it from in case it's a loose connection inside. Okie dokie. Big thank you to everyone who came to watch today. Mods, thank you for giving up your free time. Everybody who super chatted, remembered, thank you for supporting the channel. I will see you Saturday. Until then, you take care. Goodbye, Blue Bull.
See ya.